So today we're going to be looking at moving the decimal, which is basically another way of saying timesing or dividing by 10, 100 or 1,000. This can be by or 10 to the power of anything really. So this could be 10 to the power of 5. It would be timesing or dividing by 100,000 there. So let's have a look at the most simplest way. Let's times something by 10. We'd have 14 times by 10, and that is going to bring us out to 140. So quite easily you could just say, oh, you just put a 0 on the end. And now I will go over this in a bit more detail in another video, but what we're actually doing is the numbers move columns. So here this is in the units column and the tens column, and what happens is it moves across. So this now comes into the hundreds column, the tens column, and this is the units column. But that is something I can go into much more detail in a separate video. Here we're looking at the shortcut, which is called moving the decimal. Here the decimal is here at the end of the number, and it moves to the right one place and opens up an opportunity to slide another number there. Let's look at that in a little bit more detail. So here we can see with this example our number is 6.740 to the times by 10. So here we'll be moving this decimal place here, we're moving it to the right once here, so our answer becomes 67.40. And I work with many different students, and a lot of them ask me, are we moving to the left or are we moving it to the right? Now when we times, we move the decimal place to the right, but that's not what I want you to take home. What I want you to remember here is our number bigger or is it smaller? So alternatively, I could have said, oh, well, let's try and move it this way and put the decimal place here, and our number becomes 0.674. And I can ask, is this bigger than our original number or is it smaller? It's smaller, which means that we've gone the wrong way, because what we're doing here is we're timesing. We're timesing by 10, so we're going to want our number to get bigger. If you think about this, timesing is grouping several lots of, and division is sharing and splitting up. So division leads to a smaller number, multiplication is going to lead to a bigger number. So if you're ever wondering, is it left or is it right, just have a go. See what happens, and here we can see this is a bigger number, so this is exactly what we want. Here now what we're doing is we're having a look at when we times by 1,000. So we're timesing, so we're going to want the decimal place to move this way, want it to move to the right hand side, that's for sure. But let's have a look here at how many decimal places there are. How many zeros are in our number here, 1,000. There's 1, 2 and 3. So we're going to move to the right, we're going to move 3 times, so 1, 2 and 3. Perfect. Jumped over a little bit too far there, too excited. So 1, 2 and 3. Okay, there we go. So that is going to give us 1, 4, 2, 3, 8, followed by the decimal place and 1, 4. Okay, that's 14238.14. So yeah, just a recap here is when we have a number in our decimal place is right there. So we don't actually, we're not always looking at it. The decimal place is always here. We can tell by these numbers, 7.4, 7.0, 7, and just 7 by itself. There is a decimal place here at the end. We don't tend to show it. We don't need to show it. So it won't always be shown, but it is always there. So we can use that classic method of moving the decimal place over 2 numbers. Or what we could do is we could just say, look, with this kind of number, we're just going to pop 2 zeros on the end, and that's going to become 700. And I'd take that as a reasoning as well. We're going to pop 2 zeros on the end. If it was 10, we'd pop 1 zero. If it's 1,000, we'd pop 3 zeros on the end. That gives us our number here, 700. Here we've got 7.02, timesing that by 100, so we'd have 7, and we'd move the decimal place 2 places, once and then twice down here. So this would become 702, followed by a decimal place, which if there's nothing preceding that, we don't actually need that there. So it'd be just 702. Here, very similar example, again moving the decimal place 1, 2 places, 1, 2 places, because there's 2 zeros in our number that we're timesing it by, which is 100. So 7, 4, 9, the decimal place, 3, 2, 1. Okay, there we go. So let's look at something like this, 620 divided by 100. Now we're dividing, so we are going to want to move the decimal the same direction. We're going to want to move it the opposite direction. So we're going to want to come from the back towards the front, okay? Now I'm not saying that's how many we're going to move it, or we have to move it that many, but we're going to go in that direction towards the front. We're going to divide by 100, which means moving 2 places. So we're going to move to the left hand side, to the left 2 places. That's 1 followed by 2. That brings us right down to here. So our answer is 6.2. So now here with this next one, we can see we are dividing. So again, we're starting the decimal place here. We're moving to the left, most definitely. How many places? Well, 1, 2, and 3. So we're moving to the left 3 places. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So our number ends up being 139.46. And this 0, we can put a 0 here, but it doesn't really matter if we have that 0 there or not. So it's up to you. If you want to put that 0 there, you can do. Otherwise, 139.46 is good enough. So let's have a little recap here. If we're timesing, we'll be moving our decimal place towards the right hand side, because we'll be bringing it to the end of the number. And if we're dividing, we're actually moving our decimal point to the left hand side. We'll be trying to make the number smaller. The only thing this depends on is what we're timesing or dividing by. So if we're timesing or dividing by 10, we would move 1 space. And if we were to go ahead and times or divide by, say, 10,000, we would move 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. And it's just that simple. We're going to do a couple of examples now just to finish off and make sure we fully understand that concept. Okay, so I tried to give you a bit of a variance of questions here. Here we're doing 163 times 100. Actually, before I start, what you guys can go ahead and do is you can pause the video right here and you can have a go at all of these yourself. So just using skills that we've demonstrated in this video right now, you can have a go at each one. Go ahead and pause. I'll wait. Go ahead. Okay, so I'm assuming that we've all paused the video. We've all gone ahead and had a go of it. Go at it, and now we're ready to see some answers. Okay, so 163 times 100. We can do that technique of just popping 2 zeros on the end. So the 1, 6, 3, 0, 0. So your maths teacher might not like this because it's not the formal way of doing it. Just popping 2 zeros on the end sounds very informal, but if it helps you get the answer, it helps you helps you understand what's going on. That's also great. Here we're going to divide by 1,000, so we move the decimal place from here. We're going to move it to the left, and we're going to move it 3 times. So it's going to go 1, 2, and 3. It's going to end up right here, once, twice, and 3rd time. So it's going to be 7.5. 86 times 0. Again, what we're doing is we're putting that 1 0 here on the end. So it's 8, 6, and 0. We are technically moving we're not even technically moving the decimal place. Technically the numbers are moving columns, but I said we'll go into that in another video. So here, yeah, we're popping the extra 0 on. Let's have a look at this one. 1.25 divided by 100. So we've actually got a relatively small number, just slightly bigger than 100. Sorry, just slightly bigger than 1. And what we're actually doing is we're making it even smaller, 100 times smaller. So our decimal place is going to move this way twice. And what we can do is, if we're unsure about how to do this, we can actually go ahead and pop some zeros in place beforehand in preparation for this. So we're going to move here once and then twice. Okay, so our answer is 0.0125. Okay, so our decimal place is moving to the left because we divided here. We're dividing by 100,000. Decimal place is right here. We're going to move to the left. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. I've got 5 zeros there, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, I can find my decimal places there. Just check my working out. Yeah, that's all good. So my answer is going to be, go from 9,346,000 to 90.00346. This last one here, what we're going to be looking to do is make this number 1,000 times bigger. Times by 1,000, we are going to move towards the right hand side. That is definitely going to happen. We're going to move 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, 3 times. So once, twice, and 3 times here. So this answer is still a decimal, 67.429. Made my mistake there, haven't I? Well done. Sorry about that there, guys. So I've moved my decimal place and my answer reads 67429 point, there comes the decimal place, 0.3. So I've still got a decimal answer, but 67,429.3. So I would go ahead and practice this as much as you can. More practice you get, the better you get at it. Once this becomes an automatic skill, it definitely helps you unlock lots and lots of different skill areas for your maths. Thank you very much. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us if you want any other examples done, which parts of this were helpful, and if there's any specific techniques you want me to explore.